Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will define what are known as bipartite graphs. Once we define what is known as bipartite graphs, then we will also define what is known as a k-colorable graph, and we will see that a graph is going to be a bipartite graph if and only if it is two colorable. Then we will also see that a graph is a bipartite graph if and only if it doesn't contain an odd cycle. We will use this fact to come up with an efficient algorithm using BFS to decide if a given undirected graph is a bipartite graph or not. Let's get started with the definition of what's a bipartite graph. So in this video, we're going to study about what are known as bipartite graphs. Let's first define what is a bipartite graph. So we're given an undirected graph. An undirected graph is said to be a bipartite graph if the set of nodes can be divided into disjoint sets, let's say that L and R, such that every edge has exactly one endpoint in L and the other endpoint should be in R. So you should be able to put every node in the graph either into the left hand side or the right hand side. So the nodes on the left hand side, we'll call it as L, the nodes on the right hand side is R. Then all the edges can go from only left side to right side. So once you partition this set of vertices into L and R, so your set V is a disjoint union of L and R, such that if you take any edge, exactly one endpoint should be in L and the other endpoint should be in R. There cannot be edges which are going across the vertices of L. There cannot be edges which are going across the edges of R. If such a partition is possible, then the graph is said to be a bipartite graph. Let's look at an example. If you take this quadrangle, so this is a bipartite graph. This is because I can put this vertex and this vertex in L, and the other two vertices are in R. So this will be on the right hand side. So there are there is no edge going across the diagonals. So you will have only edges going from left to right? So, but whereas a triangle is not a bipartite graph, right? So I can put this in L, but if I put this in R, then I don't know where to put this. If you put this in L, there is an edge to L, and if I put this in R, there will always be an edge which is going inside R. So once I put one vertex in L and the other one is R, then I don't know where to put the other vertexes. So the triangle is not a bipartite graph. The square that I showed you is a bipartite graph. Let's define so what is known as colorable graphs. An undirected graph is said to be k-colorable if every node can be assigned with one of the colors from 1 to k, such that every edge for every edge u comma v, the color of u should not be same as color of v. That means that you are given k colors. Every node can be colored with one of these k colors. You should be able to color in such a way that no two edges, no two nodes, adjacent nodes will have the same color. Okay, if you take any edge, the endpoint should necessarily have different colors. If such a coloring possible, then we say that this graph is k colorable. So k is any positive number. If k is greater than 2, then checking if the graph is k colorable or not is an amplified problem. But the good news is that a undirected graph is bipartite if and only if it's two colorable. So we defined a bipartite graph, then we said what's a k colorable graph. You must have worried so why I suddenly went to k colorable graph. So there's a connection between two colorable graphs and bipartite graphs. An undirected graph is bipartite graph if and only if it is two colorable. It's easy to see the proof for this. If a graph is bipartite, then I should be able to put the nodes into two sets L and R, so that the edges will only go across L and R. Okay. Now what I do is that I color the left nodes with color red, and all the nodes on the other set, which is R, with the blue color, right? So I take all the nodes in the set L, color with red color. So I take all the nodes in the set R, color with blue color. So I'll be able to color with red and blue such that edges only go across, go from red node to a blue node. So we'll never have, if you take any edge, one of them will be on left and one of them will be right. So it's too colorable. Similarly, if you take a graph which is too colorable, so let's say that I am able to color every node with two colors. Let's say that I have taken red and blue and colored everything with red and blue. Now what I do is that all the nodes which are colored red, I'll put it in the set L. All the nodes which are colored blue, I'll put it in R. By the coloring property, so all the edges that is going across should be from L to R. There cannot be an edge which is going within L, because if there is an edge which is going within L, then both the endpoints will have the same color. Okay, so this is the easy proof to see that every bipartite graph is too colorable and vice versa. So we want to design an efficient algorithm using BFS to decide if a graph is bipartite graph. You know that if the graph is bipartite graph, this will also tell us that it's too colorable. So when you design algorithm to decide whether it's a bipartite graph or not, we will assume that the given graph is connected. If the given graph is not connected, then what we have to do is that we have to apply the same algorithm on connected components. Okay, if the given graph is not connected, then each connected component should be bipartite. In other words, each connected component should be too colorable. Only then the whole graph is colorable. So from now onward, we'll assume that we are given a graph which is connected, and our objective is to check whether it is too colorable or it's a bipartite graph, right? So let's look at this important theorem. This says that a undirected graph is too colorable, or in other words, it's going to be bipartite if and only if it doesn't contain a odd cycle, right? So if you look at a triangle, this contains a odd cycle. So what is the odd cycle? The number of so in a cycle, the number of edges is exactly the same as the number of nodes in the cycle. So the number of nodes in the graph, if it is odd, then we call that it is a odd cycle. If the graph contains an odd cycle, then this is not colorable, right? Too colorable. Any too colorable graph or a bipartite graph should not contain an odd cycle. So for example, if you take the triangle, this is there is a 3 cycle here. The number of nodes and the number of edges in this triangle is 3. So this cannot be bipartite graph. Let's look at the proof of this theorem. So one way is easy. If the graph has an odd cycle, then it's not possible to color with 2 colors. Okay. Let's say that there is an odd cycle. So when there is an odd cycle, the number of edges in the graph is also odd, and the number of nodes that are also odd. So let's say that this is a cycle. I go from left to right, and from the last node there is an edge back to the first vertex. Okay, that is the odd cycle that I have. Since the number of nodes is odd, let's say that I can start with any coloring. I can start with either red coloring or blue coloring. So let's say that I start with red color. So the next adjacent vertex should get a blue color because there is an edge from here to here. Okay, because I am considering the cycle. So there is an edge between the consecutive vertices, and there is an edge from the last vertex back to the first vertex. So if the first vertex has a red color, the second vertex has to be blue, and the next vertex has to be red. So every alternative node in the cycle should have alternative colors. So since the number of nodes in this graph is odd, the last one should also have the red color. So now there is an edge from the last node to the first node, both are colored red, so there is a problem. So if I had started with a blue color with the starting vertex, then the last node would also have the blue color, so there is a problem, right? So this proves that if the graph has a odd cycle, then it cannot be colored with 2 colors. So now let's come back to the converse of the theorem. If the graph does not contain a cycle, then we want to show that the graph is not too colorable, or the graph is not bipartite graph. Let's fix, since here I am assuming that the given graph is connected. So let's start with any vertex V. Let's say that V is fix any vertex. Now since the graph is connected, every other vertex should be reachable from V. So now let's define L is the collection of all vertices such that there is an odd length path from V to U. So whatever, you look at all the paths of odd length and the endpoints you collected in the L. R is the collection of all nodes such that there is a even length path from V to U. Okay. So now I want to claim that if you give me any vertex U, it should be either in L or in R. It cannot be in both. If there is an odd cycle and there is a even cycle, so if there is a path from a vertex U to the node V, which is of odd length, and there is another path from U to V of even length, then what I can do is that I can start with U, I can go to V with odd length, then I can come back from V to U with the even length. So I have created a cycle of odd length. Okay, let me repeat. Say a vertex has to be in either L or U. It cannot be in both L and R. Okay. If there is a vertex U such that from vertex V there is an odd length path to U, and there is also a even length path to U. So what I do is that I start with V, I reach U with the odd length path, and from U I come back to V with a even length path. So when I take a odd length path and came back with the even length path, so what I created is a odd length cycle. So if the given graph does not have a odd length cycle, then every vertex should belong to either L or R. Now let's look at can there be an edge going across the so I want to claim that this L and R is a valid partition. If there is an edge which is going between two nodes of R, so let's say that U and W are two nodes of R, and there is a path from U to so since it's a element in R, there will be an even length path from V to U. There will always be another even length path from U to W, V to W. So pictorially I think it's easy to write this way. So U and W are in R. So and if there is an edge from here to here, so what we are saying is that both are, so there is a V here. So U is in R because there is an even length path, W is in R because there is an even length path. So what I do is that I start with U, I go to V, from V I come to here. So this is an even length path, this is an even length path. So so I have a path from U to W whose length is even. Now I take this edge and come back to U, right? So I created a odd length cycle. Similarly, when U and W if both are in L, and if there is an edge from U to W, so I take the odd length path from U to V, and I take again the odd length path from V to W. So I created a even length path from U to W, and then take the edge from W to U. So what you have created is a odd length cycle. So there cannot be edges going within L, there cannot be edges going within R. So L and R has to be two valid partitions. So this graph is bipartite, which implies that I can always color the vertices with L with red color, and I can always color the vertices in R with blue color, so that every edge that you take, the endpoints will have two different colors. So this proves that a graph is two colorable if and only if it doesn't contain a odd cycle. This also means that a bipartite graph is a graph is bipartite graph if and only if it doesn't contain a odd cycle. So we will use this particular theorem to come up with an efficient algorithm to decide whether a given graph is a bipartite graph or not. So let's first understand, go back to our BFS algorithm. So we will compute the level of every node in the BFS tree. We'll start with L of I to be -1. So the level is -1 or minus infinity, whatever you want to keep track of. So I start with the first vertex. So what I do is that I set L of S to be 0 and put that into the queue. So now I delete an element from the queue. I look at the adjacent vertex V. If L of V is still smaller than 0, that means this has not been visited. So I put that into the queue and set L of V to be L of U plus 1. Right? After I compute the L value of every node in the graph, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take all the nodes which are at odd level and put them in L. I am going to take all the nodes which are at even level and put them in R. So by definition, so this is similar to the L values that the set L that I defined earlier. Since L is the collection of all nodes which are at odd level, this is precisely the collection of all nodes which are of odd length. Okay. Similarly, R is the collection of all nodes which are at even length from the source vertex. This is basically the collection of all nodes which are at even level from the source vertex. So once I have this, then I have a partition for the set of vertices. I want to just know whether this is a valid partition. So if I have to just know whether it's a valid partition, what all that I need to check is whether all the edges that we have goes from odd level to even level. So even if you come across one edge which is goes within the even to even or odd level to odd level, then the graph is not a bipartite graph. So it's easy to check. You consider all the edges in the graph, and you have to, what you basically have to check is that whether they go across from odd level to even level, or they have to go from even to odd. But if you come across one edge such that it goes from odd to odd, even to even, right? So then the graph is not bipartite graph. I repeat, if you come across even one edge which goes from odd to odd or even to even, then the graph is not bipartite. So every edge, if it goes from odd to even or even to odd, then the graph is a bipartite graph. So in order to check this, you have to just look at every edge and find the level of it. So if take percentile 2 and you take the percentile 2, if one of them is 0 and the other one is 1, that means that there is a edge going from L to R. So that means that there is an edge which is going from, so if this is not equal, that means that it's either, so both of them are 0 or both of them are 1, right? So if one is 1 and one is odd, implies that the edge is actually going from odd to even or even to odd. If both of them are 0 or both of them is 1, it means that it's an edge which is going within L or within R. So in that case, the graph cannot be a bipartite graph. So once you find the levels, what all that you need to do is that for every edge, you just check whether L percentile 2 is not equal to L percentile L of U percentile 2. So even if you find one edge such that this condition is true, then you conclude that this graph is not a bipartite graph. If this condition is true for every edge in the graph, then we conclude that the graph is a bipartite graph. So in summary, given a undirected graph, we can check if the graph is a bipartite graph or not in linear time. So just quick summary, in this video we have defined what's a bipartite graph. We also defined what is meant by k-colorable graphs, and we noted that for k is greater than 2, deciding if a graph is k-colorable or not is NP-hard problem. Then we studied two important theorems. The first theorem said that a graph is a bipartite graph if and only if it is 2-colorable. Then in the second theorem we said that a graph is 2-colorable if and only if it doesn't contain a odd cycle. These two theorems implies that a graph is a bipartite graph if and only if it doesn't contain a odd cycle. Using these theorems and using the BFS algorithm, we have modified the BFS algorithm to decide in linear time whether a given graph is a bipartite graph or not. That's all we have in this video, in this set of videos. There are several other applications of BFS. We probably don't have time to look at the other applications of BFS in this course. We'll probably come back to that sometimes later. In the next set of videos, we'll come back and study some of the applications of depth first search algorithm.